First time ever recording my voice onto an online platform. Apologies for my occasional mishaps. I'm not a very good articulate sort of person. I can't talk very fast anyways, unless I do some interesting things with my tongue and my teeth. That's why I never really smile in these videos. But let's move on to the meat and potatoes of the video, shall we? Here we are with a back width day. I separate my back days into width and thickness because it is more efficient and I want to grow my back as big as inhumanely possible. I always start off with a lat pull over, or the lat pull down. I'm sorry, that's slip of the tongue. The lat pull down is one of the basic staples of any sort of back exercise. It's basically sitting down and pull it. There's almost no difference. I pride myself on building this kind of physique through the basics. And any sort of lat pull down is definitely squarely one of the basics. Notice how I am allowing my scapula, my shoulder bones, shoulder blades, whatever you want to call them, to extend. And here we are with my girlfriend, Kirsten. Her form is pitch perfect as well. Notice how she's letting her scapula stretch and then ram straight into her hips. The lats begin up at the top and then end all the way at the bottom of the hips. So it makes a lot of sense to be trying to get the lat to even out and reach those areas. Now notice how I have a back imbalance here. That's because I sustained a shoulder injury all the way back when I first started. It was something I honestly was very afraid of because I thought it would end my bodybuilding career long before it even started. I'm still dealing with it, as you can tell, where my shoulder refuses to stay packed and closed and often drifts off up into the socket. But here's Kirsten, huge help, very supportive woman. She's a blessing to have in my life. And here she is, sorry, slipped the tongue again, here she is, helping me out when she really doesn't even have to. Notice how I'm still driving deep into my hips the best I can despite the shoulder injury. And I constantly adjust. I know this is happening. I can feel it. This took me years and years and years of focusing and trying my best to do the rehab exercises I've been given by my PT and to do what I can to grow a back that is stage worthy. Here we are with seated rows, one of my favorite exercises again. There's some debate on the form. Some people like a very laid back form, pulling towards your chest. I personally like to stretch forward to give the lats that full extension and then pulling towards my stomach to hit the lower lats. Of course, every single part of the lat at the back is moving and contracting, but I'm a firm believer, despite no scientific evidence, that pulling a certain way affects certain muscles a certain way. And that is infinitely more important than trying to yank out a research paper and to show people that don't really care. You know? Just do the lift. Here's Kirsten putting in the work. Her back is amazing. I honestly do really find it attractive, I'm not gonna lie. So, men, if you are watching this, if you don't like a woman with a good back, then that's kind of a failing of yours. And if you don't train your back as men, well, that's also a character flaw. Here we are, and that girl was just trying to reach over, grab the tricep extension. I'm totally cool with it. I'm not gonna flip out. It's a big gym anyways, and I don't own the equipment, I don't own the space. We're all welcome. If somebody steps in front of my camera, I don't make a fuss. Or I just tell them, like, hey, you know, like, go ahead. It's not a problem. Don't worry. I'm not gonna flip out. Here we are with heavy dumbbell rows next. Another staple. I built my, well, I can't call it a brand yet, can I? Because I'm not selling anything. But my whole ethos is basic exercises to build a foundational physique that is no bullshit, no marketing, no deceit. It's all honest hard work. It's kind of funny how lifting heavy things and doing it the correct way, the right way, the basic way, is what gains you the most muscle. Again, we want to pull towards the hip where the lat inserts. And we want to make sure we're getting the full extension at the bottom. Letting that lat stretch out. There we go. Here's a oddball exercise that not many people do anymore. We call it the pullover, which can be done with cables or dumbbells. I did them with a dumbbell because the cables were full and I didn't want to wait. But you can see my lat stretching deep at the bottom where it comes together with the chest, stretching open my rib cage. Here we are with the last exercise. I'd like to bang a couple things out. Pull-ups are one of my favorite exercises. As I get older and heavier, it becomes increasingly hard to do them, but it doesn't mean I shouldn't do them, right? Here's Kirsten with a one-arm pull-up or chin-up. She's amazing, isn't she? I'm pretty lucky to have her. Here we are with weighted pull-ups. Honestly, very good progression. Much easier to progress than a lat pull down, that's for sure. It gets a little scary with 45s hanging from between your legs, but we get her done. There we go. I always end my training days with a posing session because that's what I'm good at and what I like to practice. It's very good cardio. Now, disclaimer for talk of mental issues ahead, but I've always had body dysmorphia. You don't go into this kind of sport without having some sort of self-hatred for your physique and self-hatred of the self. Even though I look good in these shots here, like the ab and thigh, that's a money shot. When I turned around to the back, that's when I sort of had a panic attack. After reviewing the footage, I was deeply unsatisfied with how my back is looking. I have a bulging disc in the lower right portion of my lumbar spine, and that sometimes causes posing to be incredibly painful. And when I'm in pain, I don't realize it up until much later, but certain shots like the Arnold 3/4 twisting pose here that I do is one of my staples. And if I can't do them, my brain doesn't say, oh, something, I need to fix it. My brain says something is wrong with you, and you need to fix it. Because you are a piece of shit, and, if you don't fix this now, then you don't deserve to have a career. Of course, that's not true, but when you're in this kind of panic state, you don't think straight. So for the next 45 minutes, I posed, and I posed, and I posed, I tried changing up the angle, the room, the lighting. I was in there long enough for that guy on the bike there to finish his cardio session. It's a learning experience, but at the same time, the emotion that comes frustrating, you know? Like I'm constantly fighting what I see in the mirror, and sometimes you just don't like what stares back at you, you know? Sometimes I do manage to get it right, and that feels amazing. I'm like, wow, okay, I can do this now. But then, make one little adjustment and it all changes. Suddenly, what was good is not good. And you feel terrible because of it. You start to lash out at things and people. And, you know, it's not a good place to be. But in reality, that's how it is for a lot of us more serious bodybuilders, because we have an image to uphold. I know it sounds like I'm whining, and I do realize it's a little bit privileged, because bodybuilding is a very selfish sport. But at the same time, I don't wish this kind of thinking on anyone at all. It's not a good place for anyone to be in. And I recognize that, and that is what ultimately helps at the end when I'm reviewing footage and I'm finally sitting down to take a look at it. Here, this one is lopsided, but the back lat spread is fine. And as I progress, things get better and better. Thank you for listening, guys, and sticking through me with this rant. I did eventually get it right, as you can see here, so no worries, right? It will all work out, I think. Thanks for watching.